Slept on the team that they owe me. I need a ring and a trophy. I say I'm the best cause I am. It's no need in keeping it low-key. I can carve for the D like a turkey, or run straight through the D like a train. This year we ain't taking no losses. It's all about making the game. I hear a lot of trash talk. He call himself making a name. I put on the Jets. The coach will regret even letting them stay in the game. Team morale took a tumble. Next time be humble. I'm the lion in the jungle. You just try not to fumble. Rumble, young man, rumble. Never slip nor stumble. I take off, poof, magic. Now watch me juke through the traffic. Footwork fantastic. Dominating every facet. Treat the pocket like plastic. Here come the blitz, pass it. Got it on, smash. Put in the gas. I will not crash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash. 100 yard dash.
Let me find out. My team ballin', you look like you need a timeout. I'm a star in the clutch, I'ma shine out. Working hard, yeah, I'm back on my grind now. Game on, took a loss, but I stay strong. Super Bowl rings, I just wanna play off. Gotta go hard, I can never play soft. Giant in New York, I run it back like.
Hey everybody, it's the coach, and this is Monday Night Football on EA Sports. Up next, we've got what ought to be a great matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Minnesota Vikings. I'll be back at halftime to look at some of these stats and scores from Sunday's action. But for now, it's Monday Night Football. And to call the action, here are Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Nightfall in Minneapolis in December usually spells freezing temps, and that is precisely the case outside these walls. But we are a comfortable 72 degrees inside U.S. Bank Stadium. It can certainly get loud inside this building, and just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with Aaron Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers. The holiday season is upon us. We've got the gift of the NFL as we're underway here in Week 16. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. Here's Dalvin Cook, third year back from Florida State. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Throwing Jones. Blitz coming and down he goes. Kyler Fackrell in there to get him sack number 14 for him on the year.
Brandon, if I'm an offensive coordinator and I see an all-out rush like that, I file it away because I'm going to use their aggressiveness against them as this game goes on. I'm going to hit them with a screen soon.
Setting up the screen for Cook. And he'll be stopped at the 27-yard line well short. The first down marker.
They've got good playmakers on the offensive side of the ball. I don't know what happened last week to really hurt their performance and hold down their production, but I would dare say that this week in practice, there's a lot of talk about how they're going to increase their proficiency.
And that was a good start, getting the playmakers involved. You mentioned that to me pregame. That's what they did there.
Yeah, I think a lot of people think the coaching staff really gets on them, and that's how they motivate them. Most of these guys are self-motivated. They have a lot of pride in their performance.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. They'll go with their leading rusher from a season ago. This is Aaron Jones. And he was able to shed the tackle, but the reserves come in for the stop. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. And now the offensive starters for the Packers.
It's tough to be an offensive lineman in Green Bay because their quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, knows how to keep plays alive and often extends them for 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. But David Bakhtiari, his left tackle, he does it as well as anyone could ever expect. Excellent footwork, knows that the plays are going to stay alive for a long time. Often will get 2 or 3 blocks on the same play.
Rodgers now on 1st down. He gets this to Devontae Adams. And he's corralled, but not before getting it inside the 35. Another nice gain, 16 yards there, and a 1st down again. Off the play fake to Jones. Here's Rodgers. Rush coming, and he's taken down. Everson Griffin make that now 8 sacks for him on the season.
And plays like that really hurt play calling. They had a really nice gain on the previous play, but gave about half the yardage back on the sack. Excellent pressure up front. Nowhere to go with the football. Down he goes.
Don't need it all back at once, but you figure they're going to need something here. 17 yards to go on 2nd down. To throw is Rodgers. And that is incomplete. He couldn't hold on through the contact. Brings up 2nd down. Time for a look at our starters here on defense. This unit against the pass, hoping to get better for sure. Number 25 in the NFL right now.
And I think you're going to see some changes in the offseason, whether it's through the draft, free agency, maybe even both. They definitely need some help in the secondary.
An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. On play action, now Rodgers. He's got Adams on the hookup. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 15-yard line.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Shows some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did.
This will be caught just inside the 10. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Marquez Valdez-Scantling, his 4th touchdown on the year. And they are able to strike first here on their opening drive. Extra point up and good by Crosby. And it's now a 7-0 game. So the drive winds up going 75 yards in 7 plays. And the result, a Green Bay score. That'll be taken in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. And out now come the Vikings. You know, Charles, season winding down, time to maybe look ahead to the offseason. What do you see these guys going after either in the draft or free agency?
Well, with the season that they're having, just about every position is up for grabs right now. No one is really safe, but the focal point's always the quarterback position. And he may be auditioning to try and stay with his own current team. I think he's auditioning for the rest of the league to try and find a spot because I think this team is looking for a new quarterback.
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. That one good for a 1st down pickup of 18 yards. Now, look, that wasn't a huge gain, but those are the types of carries I think they were missing in their loss last week. They couldn't get him going on the ground.
Did you get the same feeling I did during our meetings, that they kind of regretted that he didn't touch the ball?
Absolutely.
You know, hey, he should have touched it more last week. They weren't going to make that same mistake, and they've taken care of that early.
They go play action here on 1st down. under a heavy rush, and down he goes. Kyler Fackrell, what a season he continues to have, his 15th sack of the campaign. Now following the sack, they'll look to make amends on a 2nd down and 17. Now Jones. Oh, the pressure too great, and he goes down once more. And that is the 3rd sack this offensive line has allowed this first quarter.
Yeah, that puts him on pace. Let me do the rudimentary math here. To be sacked 12 times in a game, I know he's not going to go for that. I wonder if it's going to reshape what they decide to do on offense in terms of play calling.
Well, I can tell you what, when he popped up, shaking his head, frustrated right now behind center. Colquitt on to kick as he sends it away. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. The Packers with the football here to begin the second quarter. The Packer offense ready to get their next drive underway. They'll be looking to duplicate that first drive, the one that got them that 7-0 lead.
Of course they would. I mean, look, they're on the road, so getting the 7-0 lead was huge for them, right? Imagine getting up 2 touchdowns on the road, taking the crowd out of the game. It'd be ideal.
Now 2nd and 7 from the 23. Rodgers with a give. It's Aaron Jones. It's a first down on a gain of 10.
Let's go! Let's go! Let's go!
Although his reputation as a speedy runner precedes him, it's always fun to watch him work.
It is eye-opening, isn't it? Because when you see him get the ball and just go, in addition to that speed, it helps out his blockers. They don't have to hold blocks for long because he's just going to speed right past them.
Looking for more there on first down, but this throw downfield incomplete. 2nd and 10 from the 33-yard line. Here's Rodgers to throw again. And this is caught. It's Jimmy Graham. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. Give him 14 on that one and a first down. A couple of first downs on the drive already, as they'll go from the 47 now on first down. To throw, it's Rodgers. And that's going to be incomplete. Too tough to hold on to that one. It's 2nd down. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down. To throw is Rodgers. Throwing again. And his throw here is going to be incomplete.
Didn't have a receiver open downfield, and as it turned out, couldn't even find his outlet man because of the coverage. It was way too tight, unable to find anyone open.
So back-to-back incompletions, and that has him staring at a 3rd and 10. And now the 3rd down throw incomplete as well. You can tell they were hoping for a flag there offensively. Several on the sideline motioning, hey, why not a penalty? Why not a penalty? What did you see?
Yeah, I think you've got to let them play, and the officials are instructed. If there's contact coming from both sides, no flag. Let them fight it out.
And forces 4th down. He's got his man, Valdez-Scantling. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. So not only do they convert on 4th, but they pick up 22 yards in the process.
Brandon, I have one word for you after that completion for a first down.
Lucky?
Analytics.
Well, the analytics say punt the football there.
So we're changing to analytics as we go, right? What a big-time play for them, and really took a big-time change.
Oh, a ball batted in the air, and now it's intercepted. Picked off by the former first-rounder Trey Waynes. And he'll bring it all the way back just a yard or two shy of midfield. Now, after the completion, we're going to get a timeout, an injured player. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. Good starting field position for the Vikings as they have it 1st and 10. Now Jones throwing to start the drive. Fair to say, hasn't been his best game throwing the football, but also not getting a lot of help out there either.
Yeah, you nailed it pretty well, you know. He's got to throw it better. Got to get more help. Obviously, one that should have been caught. They got to find a way to bring those two elements together so they can.
Packer pressure, and down he goes. Preston Smith in there to get him, and on the season now, that is 9 sacks for him. Jones throwing on 3rd and long. And he's going to go down again. Rashawn Gary in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 now on the season.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
It'll wind up being a net of 41. 9-yard return, 50 on the punt. And it'll be Packer football here. First down and 10. Now come the Packers for their next drive as we take a look at the playoff race in the NFC coming into the weekend. And they have secured that spot in the playoffs, clinching the NFC North division, in fact. So for the moment, they'd be hosting a wild card game in round 1.
And that's cause for celebration because anytime you're in the playoffs, you're happy.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Aaron Jones, his 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Packers are able to strike quickly for 6. Crosby connects on the extra point. Not a whole lot to recap on that drive. Just one play, 75 yards to the house.
Yeah, it's a long way to go. And remember, rarely is it a straight line 75 yards, too. Got to have a little extra in there. So whatever the final number is, a well-deserved seat on the bench, a little oxygen if he wants it as well.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll elect not to return this one, so they'll bring it out to the 25 on the touchback. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And with the final fortnight of games upon us, teams jockeying for position. Some of these games, blitz coming, and down he goes. Preston Smith has now recorded 10 sacks on the season.
I'm starting to wonder if this offensive line just simply doesn't like him. I mean, they've given up 6 sacks in this game. He's had nowhere to go, nowhere to run, and obviously nowhere to hide.
And all those sacks in the first half, this is just complete. In trouble here, and down he goes. Back at the 8-yard line. Kyler Fackrell, he continues to wreak havoc in the offensive backfield. Sack number 16 on the year. After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
And he will lose yardage here back to his own 6. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. 2 minutes to play first half. It's 14-0. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. On the return is Williams. A very nice job on the run back there. He'll get 23 yards all told. And the Packers will have a short field to work with here as they take over 1st and 10. Devontae Adams in the Packer offense heading back out. Well, he's within shouting distance of a 1,000-yard season. Going to need a pretty good finish, though, if he wants to reach that mark.
Well, I like how you phrased it, partner. He is within shouting distance. If he stays on this pace, he's got a shot at it. But he needs a big game in there, right, to make sure that he gets it. So you know that during the week, in practice, and look, he asks for the ball all the time anyway. He's really going to ask for the ball and let his quarterback know he's open.
From the 38, Rodgers. Then he'll get it all the way down inside the 35-yard line. That's sort of a second quarter to forget for him. Now 2 picks in this frame.
Almost as if the first one that he threw, he couldn't shake, couldn't get it out of his head. He ends up throwing a second one as a result.
Compounds the mistake a little bit.
Yeah, you got to be able to forget.
Josh Doctson, touchdown, Vikings. Josh Doctson, his 4th touchdown on the year, as they are now on the board here in the first half. The way this one was going, you just got the sense they needed something before half. They've at least got something on the board now. Still trailing, but a good sign.
That takes me back to our preseason tour of NFL camps. You remember we talked with that one coach who said his emphasis this year was scoring in the last 2 minutes of a half, heading into the locker room. This hits it right there. Take that momentum, take that good feeling, and take it to the locker room, regroup, and start over. They got it here.
They did indeed. And a lot of football, full half to be played. Dan Bailey now for the extra point. And that one makes it 14-7. And they're able to get the connection on the long touchdown pass. And that's one of the easiest drive summaries you'll ever see. One play, touchdown. This game back within a touchdown now as the kickoff's away. This fielded at the 2. And he'll take it past the 25 and up to the 28-yard line. And Green Bay getting ready to go as they take the field. And you're under a minute to go here in the half. Field position not really in your favor, but still time to try and move the ball and get in field goal range.
Yeah, you've got the lead. It's definitely a thought. Let's go ahead and try and increase it. But at the same time, I don't like the odds. I don't like where they are on the field. Got the lead. They've done well in the first half. Don't mess it up and go into halftime looking at each other wondering what if. Well, partner, they're not content to run this one out as we head towards the half, trying to hit a big chunk play right there and add to their score.
Yeah, this is a confident group. At the very least, they're thinking field goal.
Yeah, and I don't blame them one bit. I don't think you sit on the ball going into the half when you have a chance to put some more points on the board.
The Packers going to use one of their timeouts as it'll come with 36 ticks to go in half number 1. Play action. Now it's Rodgers. The left side throw complete to Adams. Now the Packers going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts as they'll stop it with a little over 30 seconds to go in the first half of play. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10. Rodgers going to throw. They'll let this go for the end zone. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. This secondary has been roasted in this first half, but they get a measure of revenge there. Nice play on the deep ball.
Yeah, they're going to need a few more plays like that in order to get their confidence fully back, but that's one step in the proper direction.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Rodgers throwing the out route and complete. That's Adams. It's a pickup of 17 and a first down. If you're going to blitz, likely going to leave you in man coverage with this guy, and that is less than ideal.
It is because just about any offense that has an elite receiver, if you blitz and have him in man coverage, you're going to him, even if he has an elite defender on him, because he usually knows where the ball is before the defender does.
So he can't hang on, and as I watch that unfold, I remembered an expression that I've heard, maybe from you, I don't know, but you're going to get hit anyways, might as well hold on to the ball.
Well, you know a coach said that, right? Yeah. Not an actual player. No chance at all. Way easier said than done.
And he will get this into the end zone. Touchdown, Green Bay. Davante Adams as the first half is winding down. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. Crosby with the extra point.
A lot of people might call this backyard football. Sometimes just understanding who you've got out wide and who you're going to throw it to. Give him an opportunity to go up and make a play, even when contested. Looks like that one worked out pretty well. The trust factor in effect.
And not wanting to risk anything here late in the half, he'll just take a knee and they'll bring the football out to the 25. Here are the Vikings now to start their next drive. Time here for likely a couple plays if they want it, but with the field position what it is, maybe better suited to just sit on this one?
I'm with you totally. I would sit on it and get into the locker room and start over. But if they do decide to try and make a play, we know what the basics are. You run draw, you run screen. I would maybe run a little swing pass and try and get my lineman out in space and see if they can chop a hole into the secondary and see if he can run a little bit.
So it's the Packers set to receive the kick. They've got the lead as well as we are underway in the third quarter. And he'll get it up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Marching back onto the field now, Davante Adams and company getting set to go. And I know that they've double-teamed him a couple times, but not a ton. Whatever they're doing isn't working. He's up over 100 yards. We'll see how they adjust.
And when they do that, they weaken their defense in other places as well. And how many times have we done games where we've seen a guy have a big game like this? But it's usually not by himself, is it? Right. Usually it opens it up for other people to have big games as well. Well, that last run makes this a 100-yard night. I've loved the way he's hit the holes. He's been quick, he's been decisive, and he's been a whole lot of fun to watch.
And they'll keep on the ground with Jones. And that one blown up quickly as he's going to be stopped before he could even get started. That'll be a loss of 4 yards on the play. And it'll bring up a 2nd and 14. Throwing on 2nd and 14. Rodgers to Valdez-Scantling over the middle. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down.
That was a nicely run slant route, and what the receiver's trying to do is make the defender think he's going upfield for a deeper route, and then breaks it off, usually after about 3 to 4 steps, and cuts towards the middle of the field. And now what he's trying to do is use his body to keep the defender away from the football and give the quarterback a really nice target.
Adams hauling it in from Rodgers. He'll take this to the other side of midfield before going out of bounds. Rodgers finding Adams for a Packer first. He's such a good route runner. Shows it there on 3rd down. Very proficient and a good pass.
And you know what I've observed over the years in the NFL? The better a route runner you are, the more confidence your guy's going to have in you to go to you in important times, because he can trust you being in the right spot, and they connected there and picked up a 1st down.
On the tackle that time, it's Trey Waynes.
3rd quarter and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
Delay of game, offense.
And that'll be accepted, of course, and that moves him back 5.
Still 2nd down.
319. 54 Mike. Go to 50. Hey, you block over here. 319.
Rodgers to throw on 2nd down. And he slings one that's incomplete.
I know our vantage point might be a little bit better way up here, but that looked like an ill-advised throw to me. I didn't see anything open, and this play just didn't look right from the beginning.
It did not. I thought he might get outside and just chuck it away. Dangerous pass, incomplete.
It's our time, guys. It's our time.
Throwing is Rodgers on 3rd down. Open man is Allison, complete. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings' 20-yard line. And a good quarterback facing zone coverage. If he has just a little bit of time to survey the scene, that's what's going to happen.
No doubt about it. If there's no pressure, he's going to continue to pick them apart, because he'll have all that time to find someone open downfield. He can only cover for so long. So maybe they want to go to a zone blitz scheme, get a little bit more pressure. Remember when Carolina did that against Denver? They lost the game ultimately. They dropped the defensive end out, and he ended up with an interception in that game in Super Bowl 50. Maybe some sort of scheme like that to try and get more pressure at the passer.
Here's Rodgers to throw. And he is going to go down back at the 11-yard line. Linval Joseph in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year.
On any 1st and goal, the real estate to work with for the offense is really cut down, and the defense knows it. So they often bring heat and pressure, which they did on this play. Got him down for a loss.
And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Aaron Jones, his 2nd touchdown of the night. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point try now for Crosby. He knocks it through. It's 28-7. A 10-play drive that time. And the last play in the drive was a touchdown run by Aaron Jones. Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And we get a look now at what Cardale Jones has been up to in this game. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And here we are almost through 3 quarters of play, and this passing game still has not really found any kind of rhythm.
Put it mildly, because they're not even over 100 yards yet. And in today's NFL, where it's a pass-first league, that is quite surprising. Not many teams patient enough to stick with the run. Everybody wants to advance the ball through the air. They've got to get their timing back.
An incomplete pass leads to 2nd and 10 from the 25. Give to Cook out of the gun. And he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
And he's able to get the first before he's taken down at the 36.
Tough first half for him, unable to put up the numbers he's used to producing. But with a guy like him, you and I both know it just takes a couple of explosive touches for him to make an impact on this game and on the stat sheet as well.
So from the 36 now, 1st and 10. Operating from the gun, Jones. Now the Packers give him nowhere to go, and they bring him down. Kyler Fackrell in there to bring him down, and that is sack number 17 for him now on the year. Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle. Ooh, moving from his tight end spot there.
Do you think that perhaps the play call was for him?
And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. From the gun, Jones. A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. Adrian Amos with a pick.
Well, you were backed up into a 2nd and long, but instead of trying to get the yardage back in chunks, he's trying to get it all back at once. And this defense was just lying in wait, and they're there to pick this one off.
Now a play fake here on 1st down. Lets this one rip toward Graham. This is caught, and he'll take this into the end zone. Now, hold on here. We do have a flag down, so let's see what this is about. So retract the yardage and retract the touchdown.
And retract the chunk play. Big strike there to get the touchdown. Now they've got to take it back and see if they've got another one still in their arsenal.
And now the drive starts with a completion out to the right. And past the 35, he'll be dropped a yard or two shy of the 30. 11 yards there, 1st down.
And a Packer 1st down. That's the end of the 3rd quarter of play.
1 quarter remains here as we wrap up the week on a Monday night. We'll return with more after this break. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Rodgers now 6 for 6 since coming back out of the locker room. It's 1st and 10. Over the middle, that's caught by Adams. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. 14 yards, good for a Packer 1st down.
Here we go.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Jones. They get 10 more there, and I believe that'll be enough for another first down. It will.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
5 yards, a good run there, and now 2nd and goal.
Oh, that's one to warm the hearts of all those old-school football players, isn't it? Tough, hard, gritty run, got behind his pads, bowled over a few people. Look at that one.
And he's going to go down just outside of the 5, right around the 6-yard line. Anthony Barr comes rumbling in for the sack.
It's 3rd down and goal.
Rodgers now on 3rd and goal. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. John Timu. He's the one to get him this time, and back-to-back sacks brings up 4th down.
And it appears to me that someone's defensive coordinator is jockeying for a raise. A sack on 2nd and goal, a sack on 3rd and goal, now brings up a decision on 4th down.
Rodgers to throw for it on 4th. And he's going to take it in. Touchdown, Packers. Geronimo Allison, his 4th touchdown on the year. And the Packers are able to stretch that lead out further. They were still throwing with a comfortable lead here late, and now that lead even more comfortable.
And your first thought is there bad blood that went into this one ahead of time, that maybe they're seeking some revenge or they just don't like them? But the other thing that always hits me is, are they worried about playoff positioning, right? Are they worried about, do you need enough points in case there's a tiebreaker that comes into play later?
Now after the touchdown, here's Crosby to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And he won't return this one. He'll go down to a knee, and they'll start at the 25. The Vikings offense making their way back out. Now let's give you a look at the playoff picture coming into the weekend in the NFC. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they Packer pressure, and down he goes. Preston Smith in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year.
That right now, that's a defeated team out there. I think you can see it totally in their body language.
Hands on hips, heads low. It's just been a struggle from the start.
Yeah, this team has been thoroughly beaten right from the word go.
Pass protection has been a problem all night long as they come up facing 2nd and a bundle.
I smell fear in that offense.
Back to throw. Jones. And that will be incomplete. Tried to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be 3rd down. An incomplete pass on that last play, and that means they'll need to come up with something here on 3rd down. Looking to throw. Jones. And he took the contact as he was throwing it, and the ball drops incomplete. Well, the trials and tribulations of being a quarterback in this league, it's tough. It's got to be wearing on him out there.
Well, he has been sacked a number of times. He had an interception, so I'm going to give him a skosh of credit for hanging in there and trying to make something happen, despite the amount of pressure he's been under this entire game.
A great return there of 22 yards. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field. The Packers offense now, they get ready to head back on the field. And this game comfortably in hand. The scoreboard speaks for itself, but you still got your starting quarterback out there. When do you go to the backup? Let him get some time.
And that's one of the great questions in the NFL, Brandon, because I'm just going to tell you, in the 2015 season, I commentated on 3 games in a row that were blowouts. And in none of them did the starting quarterback ever come out of the game for the team that had a big lead. And in each instance, I asked the coaches later on, why didn't you do that? And they all looked at me and said, Just don't really do that in the NFL. We these guys play, and we just play them all the way through. Now, in certain situations, they will take them out, but for the most part, they're not as worried and concerned about getting them out of the game. And that's always puzzled me a little bit.
That time they're able to bottle him up, but he's having a really nice game.
I agree with that. Let's just go big picture, right? Every back that's in the Hall of Fame had carries where they didn't gain yardage or they lost yardage, but you stick with them, don't you? When they're having a good game, keep feeding them.
On second down now, it's Jones. And for one of the first times tonight, he's going to be held up at the line of scrimmage. Tackle made by Everson Griffin. Just 2 minutes remaining here in the fourth quarter of what has been a one-sided affair. So it's Packer football here as we welcome you back. And let's see what they've come up with offensively after having time to talk it over. And they move this all the way down to the 9. They're able to convert on third down, and that sets up a 1st and goal.
Well, go ahead and throw the ball, man. You got the big lead. You got the clock on your side. Obviously, they don't care much about the feelings of the other team, do they?
Well, I was going to say, you better run to the locker room pretty quick after this one.
Well, right now, maybe. They're just looking at it from the fantasy perspective. More points for everyone if they win big.
Moved back to the 10. They'll try on 2nd and goal here.
6-man.
Clock counting down toward 40 seconds as they take the knee. Well, they need to reverse the trend. The last 2 plays have gone backwards. Now it's 3rd and goal.
Let's go, baby.
So it's all over. A Green Bay victory. And it was their defense that really made the statement after the break. They pitched the second half shutout.
Yeah, think about the team that just got vanquished. They did score in the second quarter. Do you think they thought at all that that would be their last points of the game?
No, but what a second half. The adjustment, whatever they did in the locker room, it certainly worked.
It certainly did, and you're exactly right. Whether it was an adjustment, whether it was just more focus on what they planned to do going in, whether they just played better, whatever it was, it all came together in the second half, and no points were allowed. That's a great way to close them out.
So for Green Bay, they continue to rack up the victories as this one moves them to 13-2 on the year. And they'll have another road date next week with the